We need program
Okay.
and artist. There we go. Good morning, Savannah. Welcome to the Savannah Business Showcase. I'm your host, Raz, and I'm here again with a good friend,
What's going on? Yes, sir.
Mr. Kareem McMichael. He's back in the studio.
Glad to be back. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, you've been here several times. Like you helped me out with you helped Brandy out with her show a while back. Your brother hosts his own show.
Yep, he does.
So this is second home to you almost.
Almost, yeah. It's like familiar ground. So. Just don't touch the board. Let you all have that.
I know, right? And we got a new board, so it's confusing. It feels different. Like the lights actually work. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, I've seen the previous board, so I know. Hey, progress. No,
that's right. That's right. That's all we can have. Cool, man. So thanks for coming on the show again.
Thank you for having me back.
You got a lot of cool things coming up. Probably, I guess the first one we'll talk about is SSU, Savannah State University's Film Festival.
Yeah.
You said it's the 6th year?
Yeah, April 2020. I was like, what is next year? Will be the 6th year. So I guess we're going into the 6-year cycle now. We started it back in 2015. I say we because it was Professor Tracy Haynes and one of our other colleagues, Tina Brown, at Savannah State University. And we saw this need in the journalism and communications department that some of the students wanted to produce films. And so we said, well, they don't really have a platform to showcase them. And Tracy was like, how about we do a film festival? I was like, oh, cool. How about that? I think it's something we talked about for some years. And so it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
With very little planning, it just happened. But when you're dealing with professionals and people who want to see something come to life, it did. And 5 years later, we've, about to be 6 years later, have grown and branched off campus more. And so the submission period is open now until I think like December 31st. And we do 5 different categories: music video, comedy, horror, sci-fi, drama, and documentary. And I know some people have asked in the past, like, what if I do animation? Even if you have animation, if it falls into one of those categories, then we accept that too.
Okay. Nice. So how have you seen that impact like Savannah State, like hosting a film festival?
For our department and our students, I'm not maybe sure about the bracket of the university as a whole, except for just maybe more interest, at least from a city level, of people saying, okay, there's a resource there of students and people that are wanting to work in the film industry and television industry that, might not have put eyes on the school before. So let's see what the department is doing and what the students have to offer. I will say, I believe the gain for the students and for our department, though, it's been a helpful level of resources that students can get connected to people working in the industry and some hands-on experience, just practical knowledge about how to produce films and to produce projects beyond just a newscast or a news production.
Right.
And for our department, I guess I'll take a little credit for it, helping some with accreditation. But no, a lot of people did a lot of work too, helping our department get reaccredited. But I do think they see the film festival or film as a whole as a part of the future in what we're teaching curriculum-wise. So I think it has had that advantage as well. So very exciting. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
I would like to see it grow and continue to grow. I'm not trying to necessarily make the film festival like anyone else's or compete, but as much as I can, just make it the best thing for SSU students at the core, because that's why we started it. And there's an advantage sometimes to smaller festivals versus some of the larger ones. So.
Got you. So can anyone submit? So like if I finally did my documentary, could I submit it?
Great. Oh yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, anyone can submit. I think the youngest team we might have had submit once were probably high school, but so yeah, anyone. If you're 10 years old, 50 years old, if you're new to film, old to film, you can submit. We do have a student rate, so if a person's a student, they can submit, and if you're a professional, want to compete as a professional, then submit. And so it's really fun. And I think there's kind of that variety that you can get with smaller festivals, and sometimes you might not get with larger ones. Where some of the larger festivals, if you're new to doing production, and not to say that your production probably looks bad quality wise in certain things, but their judges might not necessarily be more open or susceptible to what a person has produced or created versus what our judges. And we have a professional set of judges from people who are members of Screen Actors Guild, Emmy Award winners, worked in the business for a long time, you name it. Like we've had a variety of judges over the years. So
cool. So you've actually won a couple of awards recently, right?
Yeah, I think probably the main one that everybody keeps saying. I think it somehow keeps getting liked or repeated, but at the Charlotte Black Film Festival, our film MLK Jr. Boulevard won best student film, and there was another film. What was the other? I did something that won something. I honestly, that sounds so bad. I really can't remember because the only thing I do remember is whatever happened. They happened like back to back. That
Mm-hmm.
award, and then like a day or two later, the other award.
Yeah.
But it was for a different film. So I really don't remember what that other one
Yeah.
was.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So like, do you have like a wall of awards and stuff already, or no?
Well, not yet. I do probably have enough awards to make a wall. I just haven't made it yet. I actually keep saying one day I want to get around it, just kind of like a wall of recognitions, even if not awards, but just like kind of like my movie Best Friends,
Mm-hmm.
which I think only received one award, but it I think it was in like 9 festivals. So that's the most. That's the one film I had in the most festivals right now. Though MLK Jr. is giving a good run for his money because the film festival I'm going to later on tonight is the seventh accepted festival. So
Okay.
yeah. But Best Friends, I want to hang up some of my movie posters. That's what I
Yeah.
really want to do
Yeah.
because each one of my projects have a story to them. So I would rather just whether the movie got an award or not or whatever, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
people be like, oh, okay, what was this movie and the story behind that and just the production tales.
Yeah.
Most of them good, thankfully.
Yeah.
One or two, not so much. I'm not going to talk about those publicly right now. But no, yeah, I don't have a wall for the. I mean, I guess the wall I do is from all my athletics and academic stuff
Okay.
that sits at my parents' house back in Macon. So
Gotcha.
they
Gotcha.
keep those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what was your first film?
Oh God.
I
I mean, if
guess.
I want to count filming my family vacation in the Bahamas, because I felt like I worked really hard on filming that vacation. But back in high school, the first film that I know I really did, I guess, the right way, I felt like I did the right way, was called Had Enough, which was a film I did about mental and domestic violence in 2009 when I was in college, my senior year of college. So that would be what I consider. If before that, there was this PowerPoint I made back in high school called Danger Zone.
Okay.
And so, you know how if you go on PowerPoint, you can make everything play without you doing anything, right?
Yeah.
So I set up this PowerPoint, and the project was supposed to, well, my particular thing, I chose to do like the top 5 dangerous places to live in the world based off of the weather and the climate. And so you had like, you know, whether it was the Ring of Fire in the Pacific Coast or hurricanes in the East Coast and the Caribbean, different things.
Mm-hmm.
And when I made the PowerPoint, I still remember, I feel like people, I said, either you want to let me go last, or if I go kind of before you, you probably will want to go after my project. And my teacher was so amazed because when I pressed that button, that PowerPoint played from beginning to end. I had put my voice on it. I had videos playing throughout it.
Dang.
And I didn't have to present, basically. My teacher was just like jaw drop. She was like, what? But like I said, yeah, I think Had Enough was my first one. I helped a friend of mine my junior year of college, the year before that. She and I did her film, and that was actually my first time meeting. Well, we're friends now, but at the time, that was like my first time meeting and working with her. But yeah, Had Enough was my first film.
Okay.
It's on YouTube if you want to Google Kareem McMichael Had Enough. You'll get to see what I look like in stuff from 10 years ago now. In November, it'll be 10 years ago.
So what do you think has changed between like your first film? Like, what would you go back and tell yourself to do differently on your first film 10 years later?
I felt like I had a very good team and a good crew, so I probably wouldn't change how I address and handle that. But I do think, if anything else, focus more on like quality, focus more on. That's very hard for me because I'm always usually pretty particular with productions, but I would just quality per se, and by quality I mean the attention to details about what shots I want, how I want it framed, and articulating that to whoever my DP is, and DP means director of photography. Because back then, you know, in college, typically once you kind of found a team and a group of cohorts that you work with, you kind of stuck with those people, so you got very familiar. And I did, because we had always worked together for about a year and a half, the people that I was working with on this particular film. And then you graduate, and then a bunch of new people you meet along the way, you engage and encounter with, and different things. And so these last 2 years, which is why I said I would tell myself the thing, like, well, maybe getting used to working with new people too. I'll say that, because I didn't maybe necessarily prepare for that, because when I did graduate, a lot of friends moved back to their hometowns, or you know, got jobs in other cities and moved on. And so I found myself like, okay, where do I go? How do I rebuild? Who do I work with? And that was a process for a minute of me doing certain projects mostly by myself. And by myself, I mean, like, the actors, of course, were in front of the camera, but I'm probably the one behind the camera doing everything, like holding sound, hitting record, all that stuff. So really connecting with new people, finding that new team, and then just articulating this is what I want and how I want
Yeah,
it done.
yeah, nice. Yeah, me and a buddy, we were talking about that recently on another podcast that I do, and we were talking about how, just how to build a team.
Hmm.
In business, being videographers and podcasters and filmmakers and stuff like that, and creatives in general, it's like hard to find people that you can trust to work with.
Very,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah, and it does. You do end up, especially as a creative, because everything you create is your baby,
very,
right?
yeah.
So it's hard to like hand over the reins to somebody else. So like, so I guess like what would your advice be for like building that team and adding people to your team, finding a DP or finding a audio guy or finding a, you know what I mean?
I would say two things. One, and that's why I tell people, and I don't necessarily always. I want someone who does quality work. Don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but again, it kind of goes back to even like why the reason we created our film festival at Savannah State. I don't necessarily have to have someone who's had 15 years of experience. Where if you've only had a year or two of experience, which I'd rather give you the opportunity, probably to a degree, but you can still do quality work.
Mm-hmm.
But the second thing I do look along with, at least when it comes to, especially if I'm going to be the director of a team,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, I'm the one that is giving directions, giving the instructions that everyone has to answer to. And I don't mean that in a rude way,
Yeah.
but people who are going to listen and be willing to get the job done,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
And also people who are creative. I enjoy people who think outside the box too. I'm not saying that every idea I have is the end all be all, but if we're discussing in production meetings certain things and this person has a light bulb go off and they're like, I have an idea for this, cool. If it works, I think we should try it. Great.
Right.
So I look for people that I can really get along with, who are fluid, who are able to not just be so rigid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I will say that's one thing about the film MLK Jr. Boulevard that we did. That was a very new experience for me because everybody on that film was someone new that I worked with.
Wow.
Where up until that point, again, I was kind of in this cycle for about a year and a half, 2 years. And though I still work with these other people too, I have been working with kind of the same set of
Mm-hmm.
people. So this particular film, well, except for the lead actors in it, except for Melissa, but everybody else was new to me. And so I would also tell people to gain that trust with your team. I've been fortunate. I'm pretty much kind of a people person. I
Mm-hmm.
try to read people, and even if some people might be being difficult or not, I try my best to at least navigate the course of the production to get the project done. Now, after that, what you think of me, what you think of your whoever over there, fine, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully we got the project done and it went well. Overall, hopefully still people had a good experience, but you have to be open. You have to really be able to try to train yourself to read people, to know who they are, what their intentions are, and what they bring to the table for this project or
Mhm.
whatever particular project you're working on.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah. So, but that's kind of like a big problem though with just the film industry in Savannah in general, right? Like big productions bringing their people here and not using local people.
Yeah,
Or
well,
is that changing? Am I wrong?
it's changing. It's still, I feel, some probably would say slow progress.
Mm.
I don't think it's much of a problem as it was 4 or 5 years ago because
Gotcha.
a lot of the crew, or at least what they call below the line positions. So that means if you're not like the producer, director, or
Mhm.
my professor at the Georgia Film Academy explained it best. All of the credits you see usually at the front of the movie are above the line positions. So the people
Okay.
who kind of manage and run it, and then most of the credits and all the credits you kind of see at the end after the cast are below the line. Excuse me, positions.
Gotcha.
So those positions are being given, and not given, but they're employing a lot more local people, whether it be in Savannah. Sometimes they might bring some people out of Atlanta who could still work in this market. A few people out of Charleston. So that's changing. And Nathan Dill, before he left office, did start the Georgia Film Academy, which was one of the initiatives of his to
Mm.
really grow the crew here in the state of Georgia. And of course, it's all about money too sometimes. So, those
Yeah.
extra tax incentives look nice when you can hire local and get this money back later for your
Yep.
production.
Yep.
So they're really trying to take advantage of that by bringing in local hires. And I'm seeing that kind of change a little bit more on the acting side too, because still for a
Mm.
while they'll, and again, most of the key actors are being cast out of LA and New York,
Right.
Atlanta, wherever. But for maybe some of those scenes where you might have 5 lines or certain things, they're trying to cast local so they don't have to pay someone X amount of thousands to come from New York or LA or somewhere
Mhm.
when you could just get one of the local actors here.
That's right. That's
So
right.
it's changing. What is this, 2019? I think maybe by, I dare to say 2021, 2022, as some of the other programs continue to grow and the film office doing a great job too of doing workshops and different things to get people not only engaged but baseline training for
Yeah.
what they could do to go into production in the film industry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nice. That's
Which gives me my little plug
yeah, go
for
for
a
it.
brief moment. No, because I finally got it set up because I've been saying for a while I wanted to do this. I think the last time I was on your show and some other people's show, I said it. But if you go to my website, kmcmichael.weebly.com, and this just goes back to access because, again, some people just don't know and they might not always be on social media or different things. But if you go to my website and there's a button on the homepage that says sign up, and it's just really minor information, your name, number, email address, and then location and what you're interested in, whether cast or crew. And as I find certain information, I'll try to send it out to people. I really want to be able to be an outlet as well to help people who, again, might feel like, okay, I don't know how to reach someone over here, or I don't really see much about this or hear about it. Well, here's your direct line. So
Nice.
there you go.
Nice. Cool, man. What else we got going on? Karmac Productions. So like, what are you doing now?
Oh, well, okay.
I mean, the same stuff. Production company. We've talked about this before, but like, so what new projects are you working on right now?
Okay. Well, most things probably have been like commercial production type stuff for different entities locally. If I had to say what's big, there's a documentary that I'm going to be working on that I'm excited about called The Georgia 23. I hope I had the number correct. Is it 22? I know the story though. Either way, this was originally back in like the late 1800s with the first set of African American senators that were elected to this, well, state senators in the state of Georgia. But of course, because of the time period, I think out of the 22 or 20, I think it's 23 though, most of them either were removed from their positions, killed, and a bunch of other different unfortunate, heinous things. And there's a whole exhibit about them at the Capitol in Georgia, in the state capitol, which hopefully when I finish my documentary will also be there with it, I'm being told. So I'm excited about that project. So that's one thing. Probably I really want to do a feature film. I've written a few over the years, just never done anything with. So I figured for all the energy I've been putting into these short films, probably could produce one of these feature films. I'm just trying to figure out which one. And it's probably going to, be one. I wrote 10 years ago. Wow, I wrote that 10 years ago too. That was 2008 when I wrote this. Time is moving. One that's kind of a more, at the time, I felt like a modern day Cruel Intentions, to give it kind of like a loose reference, because kind of when Cruel Intentions was out, there was no social media and different things when it came out in the 1990s. So when I wrote what I wrote, with a kind of similar thought processes of just how the characters interacted, and they were in college and blase, but in the social media era. So it might end up being that feature film. But I got to update that one a lot too, because at the time when I wrote it, the only social media that was out was Facebook. So that was the only one mentioned in the film.
And there were no parents on Facebook then.
And there were no parents. Right. Here we go. Yeah. So even now that's kind of dated. Like I haven't really read the script probably in like 5 years, but I know even just that alone is dated in the film because there was no Snapchat, no Instagram.
I've never seen Cruel Intentions.
What?
Yeah, I know.
You've never watched Cruel Intentions?
Nah.
I think you should go watch it one day. I mean, looking back at it, I'm like, not sure. What? I think for its time, it was a pretty interesting film. I mean, kids do what kids do at college, and I guess, well, at least for me, what I liked about the dynamics of it was this very superficial world. I was like, what type of college you all go to? Because any of the colleges I've seen, nobody walked around looking like this and acting like this. Even though I was in middle school when it came out, but like I've been to like homecoming and different things. I was just like, what? But I thought it was a really interesting plot. Just how they manipulate it. I think that's what I liked about it, which is probably bad. The main characters just kind of had this way they manipulated the people around them. And I think that's what I liked about the movie.
Okay. You like to manipulate people.
I didn't say I liked it. No. See, haha, you tried. You tried. No, I said I like how I never said that for you all are listening. I did not say that I like to manipulate people. I said I was like, whoa, no. I can see how that would be perceived that way, but that's not what I said. But
I'm just messing.
So those are probably the two biggest. And if not, theater was my first love. I'm still thinking about maybe doing a play.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't been in a play in a while or produced a play in a while. I'm sure some people probably hear me saying that if they're listening would be not pleased, but I do not care.
What do you think about like Jordan Peele's movies? You know, how he just, he had some fame, but he just went from being an actor and sketch comedy guy to being a very highly recognized director, kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, I say well, especially about Get Out. I'll just be honest. I enjoy Get Out more than I enjoyed Us. That's just
Mm,
my opinion. But I like them both for different reasons. I think what he is doing too that hasn't been done before is taking a genre that usually has been, not really had a lot of African Americans in it,
mm,
and are writing narratives that not only deal with that subculture of our, different parts of our history, maybe,
mm-hmm,
or just what we deal with in our daily walks, but putting it in a genre that, typically some people would say, oh, I mean, I remember even when I was in, this was a little post college, I had wrote a particular film, and I remember even some people would tell me too, like, well, black people don't do movies like that or playing things. So
really?
some people's minds can't even wrap around the concept of black people being in certain
Hmm.
situations or predicaments. And so I'm thinking like he's doing a really good job of taking people, putting them in these situations,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and seeing how this plays out on screen. And
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful thing because, like I said, outside of maybe comedy, certain dramas, yeah, how often do you? I've seen a little bit more psychological thrillers or thriller films or suspense films where you
Right.
have just more of an African American cast now. Where back in the 1990s, if you did see Denzel Washington in one, the rest of the cast was white. He was
Yeah.
probably the only black person
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two other. So that dynamic is changing, and I think that's probably what's exciting about the experience as well for
Mm-hmm.
people to see. Like, okay, someone that looks. I mean, same even with Black Panther. That was one of the things I think that also added to its success besides already having Marvel as just
Mm-hmm.
is backing tool. But some children and people who maybe have not seen a superhero reflected a certain way
Right.
had something that they can identify with.
Right. Right. Yeah. Before Black Panther, it was just Blade. Right.
True. And to be honest, I keep forgetting about Blade, which
Yeah.
is bad to say.
Yeah.
you know.
He was the
So,
first.
but
He
yeah.
wasn't even like. He was like a bad guy superhero at that.
Yeah, and wasn't Spawn the same way too? 'Cause
Spawn.
yeah,
Yep.
he was like
Yep.
this kind of bad guy superhero thing, I think. But I haven't watched Spawn in so long either. But yeah, and so Black.
Yeah.
But I really keep forgetting until you just said it. I was like, see, I keep forgetting Blade was
Yep.
happened. Yep,
Yep. It was there. Three
it
of
was
them.
back there. It was.
Yeah.
I
Three
remember
blades.
two. I don't know about the third one. Okay,
It wasn't that good.
okay, good. Because I was like, I don't even remember that one. I was like three.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that makes a lot of sense, man. Like that does make a lot of sense because when I think of scary horror movies, I think of like, was it Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah.
I think about him. I
Yeah.
think about Stephen. What's his last name?
Oh, King.
Stephen King.
Yeah.
And that's it. Really. But I'm not a big horror movie guy anyway.
And the funny thing is, for that matter, I'm not either. Or if it is,
Mhm.
I would rather watch one that kind of make me think or feel something.
Right.
Like The Omen,
Mhm.
compared to the other horror films, that some people might have been very boring. But I'm like, and I'm talking about the original, like the one that came out in 1970s with Gregory
Okay.
Peck, not the new one. I still haven't seen the new one.
Okay.
I'm talking about the old-fashioned one, where I was just like, it wasn't scary in the sense of, people, unfortunately, like a slasher horror film, but it was something that kind of made you think, and then was like, oh, and it just had this kind of eerie feel to it the whole movie with
Mhm.
this possessed child, and I was like, I like stuff like that.
Mhm.
Or Child's Play bothered me as a child, but that was just because I used to think dolls would come to life and try to create criminal acts. So I was just like very, very scared around dolls.
Really.
Oh yeah.
So
But-
speaking of Child's Play, like, so as an aside, I'll work up to the question. So me and my buddy, like, he listens to like a lot of great music, but people always say like good music is gone, like there's no good rap, but you just have to look for it. You have to find it. It's not going to be on the radio. So
Okay.
like the same thing with like movies, like all the movies now are just remakes. Well, it feels like a lot of the movies are
Yeah.
remakes. So like, is that true, and why? Or do you just have to like look for really good movies now?
I feel like it's probably the same. You probably have to look for the really good movies. I mean,
Mhm.
a lot of independent films, similar with indie artists and music, aren't necessarily, unfortunately, going to get the mainstream push unless it creates enough buzz or get to a point where, for some reason, whether it be a production company or studio, or whatever, feel, okay, this movie needs to get pushed to another tier.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not going to get the same draw in.
Mhm.
And so when I guess you get all these remakes, I guess it's like, well, why recreate the wheel? And there's nothing
Right.
new under the sun anyway to some people. So let's take something that was already a success and a hit and just now either do it 20, 30 years later for a new generation
Yeah.
and hope we create the same success. Now, the issue I have with a lot of some of these remakes, though, is I think back then when some of them were done in its time, there was a certain level of care and attention and certain things given to it. And then it was something new for its time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really new now anymore,
No.
technically. I mean, you can still go back and grab the other Child's Plays movie if you want to and see them. I haven't, watched the one that just came out, but a again, music, I feel like a little different because there's so many. Well, there's so many movies too, with so much music out there. But like I
Right.
said, I think you just have to maybe go search for it with film sometime on Amazon or Netflix. What's that other streaming site? Hulu or something.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just go through and search. Maybe different topics that you're interested in, and just kind of read the descriptions. And if sometime I've seen a few independent films, I was like, okay, this just looks interesting. I'm just going to give it a little watch. Now I might end up starting watching it and it was like, wasn't that
Right.
great and stopped or whatever, or pick it up later. But I would probably say do that.
Mm.
And I guess it all just depends on the person's perspective and what they like.
Right.
I mean, kind of
Right.
same with music, but I felt like they said about every form of music. They probably said about some of the movies that's coming out too, like just the quality is not the same and blah, blah, blah. But I guess it does go back to that person perspective and different things. But I feel like two things I can say that music and I feel like movies have in common that might set it apart, whether it's a mainstream movie or song or not, is people enjoy storytelling. People enjoy songwriting. People enjoy when you can tell something solid.
Right.
I'm not saying I don't have my songs and for that matter movies that I like just for the sake of entertainment, because you need that in the world too. But then some people just like some things that they feel have a little bit more substance with it.
Right. Right.
So-
I agree with that. Yeah. It's all about the story.
Yeah.
Man, those are my favorite songs to listen to, ones that tell a story instead of just saying the same thing over and over.
True. And
You know?
I've had that. I think that's what some people have, or you said about even like Southern rappers versus Northern rappers and different things. But then, everybody's walk of life is different too, or was different. There'll be similarities. But so, yeah. And like I said, I do have my songs where I'm like, I'm about to go out or to an event. Boom.
Yeah, right,
I
yeah.
necessarily want to be listening to something that's going to have me thinking too much.
Right.
But when I do want to, then I do have my songs and my music for that. And,
That's right.
and I love those songs and I love those films where I'm like, it made me think something deeper than just, okay, I'm entertained,
Yeah.
but I didn't really walk away with anything necessarily.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Childish Gambino's "This Is America" a little while ago.
Yeah.
Like the song is terrible if you just listen to it on the radio.
It's-
But if you watch
Okay,
the video,
I
you
can
know what I
agree
mean?
with that because I
Yeah.
feel like I don't think I necessarily liked the song until I watched the video.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but I mean, again, that was another medium that really enhanced the music. Again,
That's right.
it kind of all ties. Not everything is about money, but they knew it was a new engine to promote music where it's like, if we can add visuals to heighten the song. And actually I can, there's a lot of songs I've had that I didn't actually like until I saw the video. I was just like, what are they talking about? And then I watched the video and kind of see the visuals play
That's
out
right.
with it and different things. I'm like, aha. So yeah, I actually had the same exact thing happened with that song where I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But then I watched the video and heard the song and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like it's not a hit song; it's just a hit video.
yeah.
You know.
So
Yeah. Cool.
and it was one of those songs that I, again, before I know you got to go to break, but just not a very commercial song in the first place. I think he knew that. It was more of a political song, politically driven, and a statement. And most things like that, again, does not get a lot of radio play.
That's right. That's right.
So,
Yeah. And yeah, you're right.
or it's not intentionally made to be radio friendly. So,
Right. Very true. Let's take a break while I get my thoughts together.
cool. All right.
All right, guys, we'll be back in just a second. I'm here with Mr. Kareem McMichael, owner of Karmac Productions. How can people reach you?
Okay. You can reach me at kmcmichael.weebly.com or why is my voice leaving me? There we go. Or you can reach me at karmac.productions@gmail.com. So either one of the two. But like my website is just probably the quickest thing because you can sign up and I'll have you saved in the database.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right, well, everybody listen, we'll be right back in just a second. Thanks for tuning in. Don't go anywhere. I might put them through the lightning round. We've done it
All right.
before,
We've
but I
done it
might put it back through the lightning round.
Okay,
again.
that was fun.
All right.
I wasn't ready, but that was fun. I like it.
This is WRUULP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul.
This portion of WRUU-LP Savannah Soundings programming is brought to you by listeners and by the Savannah Jazz Festival, which brings jazz and blues to Forsyth Park and other locations around Savannah from September 22nd to the 28th. The Savannah Jazz Festival is presented by the Coastal Jazz Association with investment from the City of Savannah. Evening concerts followed by nightly jam sessions bring artists such as Dolette McDonald, the Hunter Tones, Big Sam's Funky Nation, Vanessa Rubin, and Annette Cohen to Savannah. For more information, go to savannahjazzfest.com.
How many times have you heard WRUU's corporate underwriting message? If you remember it, then your potential customers will remember your message as well. We are offering this space to connect corporate and institutional partners with our loyal and active listeners. Underwriting on WRUU is short, so listeners don't tune out. It's exclusive, so your message won't be lost in advertising clutter, and it supports Savannah's only community radio station. For a marketing package to increase your reach beyond traditional media, email underwriting at wruu.org.
Tonight on WRUU, tune in at 7 for It's a Big, Bad, Beautiful Noise, alternative rock and electronica. At 8, the Blues Hour features all styles of the blues. At 9, Music Local and Sustainable is all about Savannah-based musicians with interviews and features. At 10, Theme Stream dives into a weekly musical theme. And at 11, Mink Mink's Alphabetical Hour brings you alphabetically arranged songs. Our latest schedule is always at wruu.org. And thanks for listening.
You're listening to WRUU-LP Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global.
This is WRUU-LP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org, Savannah Soundings. We are community radio with global soul. This is Ocean Heights, from the album Ocean Heights EP.
We're moving our own way. We'll scout what life's about, and when we rendezvous, I'll know we've been around. You walk in your high heels across the old minefield. We're rolling and skipping, hoping and wishing that we both make it out. But I can't guarantee what you're asking of me. No, I can't guarantee anything. Take me back in time, call me your best friend, try to reassure me that friendships like this never end. Our iceberg split in two, it left me to flow from you, and I don't know what to do, cause I've been gone, and you're so out of reach, it's been too long. There's no doctors or treatments existing that I could possibly try on me. I just can't guarantee anything. I love to say next week, it's a potential leak. The plug's hidden and locked up, and dear, you hold the key. but you won't give it up, 'cause you just love to fight. I'm trading all my sleep with arguments at night, 'cause I can't guarantee what you're asking of me. No, I can't guarantee, 'cause I was gone and expected to see you when I got home. Oh, instead all it revealed was a message remind.
All right, Savannah, welcome back to the Savannah Business Showcase. I'm your host, Raz, and we're back with Mr. Kareem McMichael. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us.
Right.
Kareem, so we're going to go into the lightning round, but like I think you said you wanted to say one more thing.
Yeah, well, two
more
things.
things.
So, speaking of collaborations, I am a part of a film collective group called the KCP Project, which is another entity of, well, I guess it's Karmac, Curry, and then Patrick. So the three different people who make up this group. We just wrapped a particular production over the weekend, so we're always looking to collaborate with people and things too, and they can follow our page and see the different projects we have going on. But we should have a film out later on this year. Yeah, and Instagram, KCP Project on Facebook and Instagram. So check us out. We're really fun to work with, and similar, again, it's just kind of like building that network. So most of the people that we work with have either been in the Georgia Film Academy or Savannah State students, but we're all connected one way or another in the film and television industry in Savannah. So between the three of us, like you'll be in good hands. So come work with us, have a good time. And the other thing I want to talk about is Karmac Productions, GQ Smooth, who has a show on, radio show and does poetry, my brother. And Empire, who is the core of this, is doing a all kids talent show in September. So, but we're looking for talent right now. So if there's anybody got some kids they want to submit between the age of 7 and 17, I don't have the email address off the top of my head, but it's all on my Facebook page. So at the end of this, when we reiterate where my contact information is, or if you just find Karmac Productions on Facebook, I'm sure you will see the information on there. So yeah,
nice. That's a good idea. An all kids talent show.
Yeah,
does it like raise money for something, or it's just
for their organization, for the nonprofit, because the kids throughout the year they do different activities, from going to like different museums, different team building retreats, and different things. And so I think all of them are going into high school now. So they're still kids, but they're not middle. Well, I think 1 or 2 might be still middle school. So they're dealing with that group, just kind of get them engaged and thinking about their future and what they want to do, whether it be military, college, and so really just trying to set this platform for. And then a lot of them too are really cool, like painters and poets and things. And so they want to nurture that talent. And so this is a platform for them to showcase that, and hopefully maybe have some really cool people for them to meet that are doing things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a great idea. I've been trying to think of a way I can give back, and I'm trying to like find different organizations to help, or like I really want to do something for like servicemen and women, of the world.
Okay.
But I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, I know we're doing there's a second walk for homelessness coming up, but this year when you brought that up, the money is going to the Tiny House Project, which is for veterans. But if I hear of things, I'll definitely let you know. There's actually a couple of different things out there. I probably just have to like maybe let you know who to talk to and to plug in with to see where it is that you can link with them to make that. Yeah. Because there are a few groups. How do I say this without making it? There are two types of people. I feel like people who do sit in certain positions, working with certain organizations or independently, that maybe don't necessarily have the full interest of whatever it is that they're trying to do at their heart or benefit. And there's some others who really don't mind working from the ground up to get things done for a certain group of people. And so I just think being genuine about it, which I'm sure you would be, but I'm just saying that because I know some people intentions aren't always there. And if that's you, then just kind of maybe stay away, or let the people who genuinely want to, it's like me going into certain sectors. I'm not saying I might not be able to give funds to it, but I know art and television and film, that's my thing more. So if I can help, kids or whoever in that way, then that's where more of my expertise lies. I'm not going to try to walk into a hospital and be like, I can help cure cancer. Probably going to cut the wrong cord, first of all, in the first place. So, but knowing what you can do and where you can lend your services to that particular cause.
That's right.
Or I might do a video about how you can cure cancer or something. But I can't. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. everybody be hurt. I was like, I'm sorry that you're injured now. But,
I tried my best.
I did.
Yeah.
Thank you. You can say that if nothing else. So,
All right, cool. Well, let's jump into the lightning round real quick.
all right.
We'll do a few basic questions and then we'll get out of here.
All right.
But thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
Again, everybody out there listening, if you don't know his voice or his face, it's Mr. Kareem McMichael of Karmac Productions and the Savannah State University Film Festival, and a lot of other things, right? So what's your favorite book? Did I ask you this last time? Tell me if it's a question I asked you before.
I don't think that one came up.
Okay.
If it did, I like The Great Gatsby. I think that's still one of my favorite books to this day. No, actually, I feel like I said that. I might have told somebody else that, but either way, The Great Gatsby is one of my favorite books. Or is my favorite book. Actually.
Why is that? Why The Great Gatsby?
I think I felt like for the time period, just because it dealt with old money, new money. It dealt with classism in a way of, you got this guy who illegally built his wealth and people look down upon that. But, to most people, wealth is. And then I think in a way, when I look at the barrier of it a little bit more historically, I mean, the way the Kennedys built their wealth and some other entities too was not necessarily the most, legal way of things. But he was successful. He came back from the war, tried to find the love of his life. But society, just because of you can't be with someone for these different reasons, said that you should stay away from him, but you love him. So I don't know. I thought it was really interesting how the characters interacted and lived their life from day to day with the people who were basically just middle class or lower. And then even some of the people who weren't rich, but because everybody was invited to these lavish parties Gatsby would throw. It didn't matter really, if you had a way to. So thought that was really interesting.
All right. I don't think I've ever read the book. I saw the movie,
Okay.
the recent movie.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think that
No,
represents it 100%.
the original movie that had came out in the 70s was a better representation of the book than the new one. I've seen both, but and I like both of them for their different reasons. But the original movie stays a little bit far more true to the integrity of the book than the new one.
Do you feel that your business is your life's calling?
I do. Yeah, I do. I don't think necessarily maybe as a kid I felt that I would have a production company per se one day or thought about it in those exact words. But even just being an actor, if you're going to kind of be your own agent, and even with the agent as an actor, you still should promote yourself in different things. So my business is my calling. Yeah. I don't really know what else I'd be doing.
Right.
Unfortunately.
At this point, you can't. It's not much else you can do.
Yeah.
Well,
what
like
you
that.
can and can't say on WR. No, I'm gonna say, well, no, I'm joking. But yeah.
Not can do, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a quote that's always been a mantra that you live by?
No, I need to, because I feel like you did ask that. I don't think so necessarily. I mean, I do have a quote from a TV show that that's a bad quote. So in the episode of Dallas in the TV show, there JR, who's one of the main character.
Oh, how old are you, man?
I'm 31. It's such a bad quote to say. But he basically tells one of the characters to do unto others before they do unto you, which I just thought was like, So if you get to them first, before they, at least you're a little ahead of the curve, I guess. But yeah, no, you probably shouldn't live by that. But yeah, hey, that was a good show for its time. Even for that, like I did, it's very entertaining.
Okay, I've probably watched one episode.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
with my great grandmother.
Okay,
just throwing it out there.
On your own merit, you to just go sit down and watch it now. Okay.
Do you think you're an introvert or an extrovert?
What's that term I learned recently? Because I feel like I'm a combination of both. I think
ambi. I think
that
it's
what it-
ambivert.
okay,
Like that.
yeah.
I think. I don't know.
Because I think at the core, I don't mind talking to people and stuff and different things, but I like to keep to myself sometime if I can. I'll say it like this. I'm more inclined to probably have a conversation with people, like if I'm on a stage or something, versus if I had to have more intimate one-on-one conversations with people. And though I might seem very confident in some of those situations, sometimes I'm very just kind of like, I don't know. But being around people is very draining. So I have a lot of moments where I just rather just go sit in the park and chill or walk or stay in my room.
Yeah.
I'm
the same way with that. Like I'm both. I definitely enjoy being around people, but it has to be the right type of people. And I'll come back home, energized sometimes. But if I'm around a bunch of people that I don't know, and sometimes it can just be like you said, draining, and you have to just recharge. And just,
True.
I cut off all social media and for a couple of days, turn my phone off for a day, and just
That's very smart. There's actually something that I said I was going to start doing a little bit more of, because I don't really, or I guess that's the term they made for it, disconnect, you know. But you got to sometimes just, I mean, if you're already around people all day, you're socializing. I know sometimes, even for me too, like you go from meeting to meeting, thing to thing, and even for you have a family. So when you go home too, then you have family. But when do you still take time, a little moment for yourself?
Yeah.
So, you know, just to, even if it's 30 minutes, an hour here and there, something to really, like you said, just put down the phone, whether you watch TV, sleep, do something that really makes you happy. And I will just say, from being probably stressed out often in the past or whatever, that helps. So do that. More people really just need to take the time to do that. Don't let people, what you feel like are your demands and your pressures from your job or your obligations destroy your health mentally and physically. Like, you can't. So I'm huge about, like, really, I need to start practicing what I preach, but I agree you should.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, I usually find like 30 minutes to an hour in the morning, or like so I have a newborn, it's 2 months old, right? So it's usually me and her hanging out. So I take that as my alone time. I just pretend it's my alone time because she can't talk yet, so that's fine.
Hopefully she's sleeping or resting.
No, not really. No, at the wrong times. I mean, she does, but at the wrong times.
Okay. I will like, Rod, goodbye, baby. Please go to sleep.
Right.
Let me sleep.
Yeah. No. Do you want kids one day?
One day. I do. One day. Yeah, I've always wanted kids. Yeah, I thought about it. I'll do one day. You know, I'll admit that those are those precious, crucial ages. There's a 2% part of me who kind of feel like what Matthew Dole said, where he would say, well, if you don't know who Matthew is, his daughter's Beyonce and Solange. But he's have said in a few interviews that when his grandchildren were born, like, he really didn't even want to necessarily talk to them until they were like 4 or 5 years old, because they can't say or do anything back. And I was like, yeah, so if we could just skip to that 5-6-year-old period. But nah, all jokes aside, no, I mean, I do want kids, and I want to be there to see them grow through those precious stages. Of
That's how my dad feels too. He does. He's visiting right now, but he doesn't like to hold the little babies.
So great. It's not just me that slightly feel that way. Because at first I felt like, am I the person who think that? But then when Matthew said it, and now that makes me feel a little bit better. But yeah, he did. But yeah, so I feel a little bit better about it now. That's good. I don't feel as bad.
No, you're definitely not alone in that. And I understand, you know, because you feel like you could almost break them a little bit as well. Sure. You don't know what's going on.
I can honestly tolerate everything. I'm not going to lie, except for when they have to use the restroom, perhaps that part, or they have to cough up or something, and I'll be sitting there like, well, you just spit all on me.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me anymore. I just wipe it off. Whatever.
See, I hear everyone who has children say that by the time you get like past maybe if not your first child as a whole, or once you get past like the first couple of, I guess, months maybe, or weeks, it's just kind of like, okay, it's a part of the stuff that comes with it.
That's right.
Nope. Every time I'd be like, I probably just wear t-shirts all the time at that point.
Yeah, pretty much the old ones.
Yeah, that's right. True.
Cool, man. Well, let me ask you the final question.
All right.
And I know I asked you this before, but I want to hear the answer again. We'll talk about it a little bit. If you had a superpower ability, what would you choose and why?
I can't remember if I said telekinesis the last time or telepathy, but I think this time that I did say telekinesis, because I think I did say something about being able to make myself. Well, it's either that or telepathy, but telepathy, I think a little more now.
Okay.
Just because
you like to manipulate people.
Again, on the record, I never said. However, with mind reading and control power,
do unto others before they do unto you. It's a trend here, man. It's a trend.
I feel like you're trying to set me up. Well, you know, I guess I can see that pattern. Now, did you study psychology or something? What's going on here? So shocked what is happening. I just felt like my whole but no. Well, you could with telepathy. Yes, I could genuinely. Yeah. But then you know what? No, I feel like then I wouldn't waste a lot more time. I told somebody this like a few weeks back because we were talking about superheroes and powers. I was like, well, think if I just knew what somebody was thinking, I wouldn't sit here and have to be wasting time with certain stuff if I already know like this is how this is going to go.
That's true.
But I guess how far we really get with certain people and certain things if we do that every quarter. But you know, but then let's see how far with this mind power read minds can I go? Because like you said, if I can read it, manipulating is a different thing.
Yeah.
Which I guess if you can read the mind, you can't necessarily maybe manipulate it with that particular power, but you know what you can and can't do because you can read people's minds. So I guess Yeah, but again, I never said that I like to manipulate people. I never said that.
I was just joking.
You know, in
I'm
the
not
realm
saying
of
you're
manipulation, I'll say it like this though, and it kind of goes back to what I said earlier about when you're dealing with the team or managing a team, and I think
Right.
and it's not necessarily like manipulation in a bad way, but I guess in a way, it's kind of like reading people and reading minds.
Yeah.
You have to be able to communicate with your team and with people to kind of know where they
That's
are
right.
and at what point they're at, what they're comfortable with as far as production and different things that they know how to do and don't know how to do, and then what they're still learning. And so once you kind of can maybe assess and know these things about a person, then you can begin to kind of maneuver them
Right.
to get what you need or want.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah.
there you go.
Or it's the best for them and the project. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Best for them. Yes. That's a very nice way to put this after I've almost been accused. No, but yeah.
I'm trying to help you out here now.
Thank you.
I was just messing with
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
But yeah, but you did that does make a great point though. It's like if you could read, you wouldn't have to waste that much time with the person, because a lot of people will just say, yeah, let's talk about this, or they'll say, let's get back together later, or let's work on this. But nobody ever just says no. Like, just tell me no.
Tell me no. Right.
You know, and then we can move on. I go to the next person. You don't have to leave me. You're leaving me in limbo if you don't say no.
True. Well, I feel like as I've gotten older, maybe people, I didn't like when people would say that. Like, well, as you get older, you'll learn.
Yeah,
certain
you gotta hear it a lot.
things will start to just put you in that mind frame of. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. And like I said, if you're able to read people's minds, you wouldn't have to worry about that. Like, you could probably just tell them because you already know they're thinking it. Just be like, just go ahead and tell me no if it's a no. Or if you don't intend for this to go this way later on, then just go ahead and be honest with me. Let me know. It's not always a comfortable conversation to have, and I think that's what keep people in fear of saying certain things or whatever. But it will save not only the other person time, but you time for that matter too.
Right. That's right.
It could be a win-win.
Yeah.
It's not saying it's going to be easy depending on what the situation is, but it could save a lot of time and energy.
I've been working on a design for a shirt, which is N-O.
Okay,
just a t-shirt. Just a t-shirt to let us know. Anybody ask about it,
True.
I can just tell them
But
no.
you brought up a good point. Even I have issues sometimes saying no. I'll admit, but I mean, I've gotten a bit better just because of certain things. If I feel like, even if it's something I believe in, I probably don't have the time or the energy sometimes. So it's no point in me overexerting myself necessarily for it. Or the other thing too is if I just feel like I don't see necessarily how I tie into this.
Yeah,
I wish you well, but I can't help.
Right.
So
all right, cool. Well, we are going to sign off.
All right.
Thanks again, man, for coming on the show. I appreciate it. As always, you'll be back on.
Okay.
So,
cool.
I'm sure sooner or later. What the next project you have coming up? Yeah, because like I was getting burned out the show a little bit, and I just decided to start bringing a bunch of friends on.
Okay.
Just to mix it up. So whenever you're ready to come back on, just let me know.
All right. Maybe next time I'll bring either the KCP project or Tracy with the film festival or something. That's those like the film. So yeah,
that'll be good.
Spice it up.
That'll be good.
All
Thanks,
right.
man.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening to the Savannah Business Showcase. I'm your host, Raz. As always, be the change you want to see in the world. You don't have to have $1 billion to make a difference. You can just go down the road and tell somebody you love them. So I love you guys, and I will see you next week. Peace out.
Hello, this is Victor Wainwright, leader of the band The Train, and I just wanted to let you know that you're listening to WRUU-LP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org.